Well, my budget black video was the most popular video I've had in a long time, so I guess you all like budget videos, and I've got another spicy no rares list for you. It's Budget Orzhove Pixie. Let's go. Welcome to the Attic Mana Dad here. It's the channel where we explore what's fun in Magic, mostly on Arena. On Arena, you can win with no rares. Absolutely zero rares. Not one of these channels that claims it's zero rares and puts rares in. Now, and I know you get some rares, even some rare lands with the free starter decks. You can put those in if you want. But this is a 100% no rares list. We will lose to the mana base sometimes, but we will win often. Thanks to the power of Pixie. Well, you know it, you love it, you've probably seen it by now. 1/1 flying, when it enters, return up to one target non-fairy, non-land permanent you control to its owner's hand. And if the permanent was returned that way, you get a +1/+1 counter on the little Pixie. What are we returning? Well, we've got a great package in black. You could do this deck with blue. Maybe I'll do a future video with that. This is the white and black version, aka Orzhov, if you don't know Magic slang. Momentum Breaker, which is what's called an edict effect, makes opponent sacrifice a creature. Tithing Blade, also an edict effect. And then more removal with nowhere to run. And then a one of fun of Princess Takes Flight, which is actually removal if you bounce it. So it's a saga, it comes down, it's going to exile something. If you bounce it back to hand, it never does chapter 3 where the thing gets returned. So we'll just, play chapters 1 and 2 and hopefully have something that can bounce. So we've got 4 Pixies, but that's not enough. We also have 2 Ambrosia White Hearts, which is a 2/2 flash with a similar ability and a little landfall pump. And Sun Pearl Kirin. We're going to run 4 of these. 2/1 flash flying when it enters. Return up to 1 target non-land permanent. If it was a token, you can draw a card, but I don't think we're ever going to do that. Now, cool thing is that with Edge of Eternities, we got some cards that work really nice, and they're not rare. So, let's start at the top end. Starfield Shepherd is a 3/2 for 5 mana, but when it comes in, you can either get a basic plains or a creature with mana value 1 or less. So, really got a couple more copies of Pixie, and because you can warp it in for 2, that means some 2 mana, that's like kind of like 3 mana Pixies. It's a little bit expensive, but that also opens us up to playing other 1-drops, just one of fun of a bunch of different 1-drops that can, depending on what situation we're at in the game, maybe one Optimistic Scavenger. Just puff up a flyer as we cast, enchantments like Nowhere to Run and Momentum Breaker over and over and over. The last... Oh, no. So we're not ready for the last piece. There's two more pieces left from Edge of Eternities. We also have this guy, which is sort of removal. As long as this Drix Assassin, All-Fates Stalker, if I can say that. As long as it's out on the battlefield, it's an O-ring effect. It's exiling something. But if we do the warp, we can blink one of these guys and get their enter the battlefield's abilities again. So I got 3 of those, because that also warps in for 2. And then, wouldn't you know, Hymn of the Faller is Surveil 1, then you draw a card and lose 1 life. But if a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn, like say bounced back to hand, you get to draw another card. Or if a spell was warped this turn. And as you see, we have some warp. So, it all works and synergizes together very nicely. Now, the mana base, we do have Neglected Manor, which is one of the best common dual lands we've ever seen. Can often come into play untapped because either we're taking a lot of damage as we stabilize behind removal, or we're chipping in for a lot of damage with our little flyers. And then hopefully by the time we drop this, it's coming in untapped. So that's cool. We can also just deal a ping damage with Forlorn Flats. Might be correct to switch this out to something that gains a life instead. I'm not really sure. We have Ginger Brute in as our sort of like backup life gain that we can grab with the Starfield Shepherd. I've played around with the levels on these. I initially started with 4 of these, 4 of these, 4 of these, and I didn't have the whole 1-drop you know, option package. But I think this gives a good summary. I ended up with Tithing Blades. I just keep adding more and more to the list as I test it, because for best of one, and that's what this is a best of one list, that you just need a lot of removal right now. That's just how it is. So we'll see if I've gotten the levels right as I record it. But stick around to the very end of the video, because I will show you the actual win rate of the deck, not just the excuse me, games I was able to fit into the video. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe if you like this sort of thing. More budget lists coming your way, because I guess people like them. So with that, let's go see Orzhov Pixie, 0 rares Pixie, in action. I'm going to blame this cough on the Canadian wildfires. I thought when I left California, I had gotten away from the wildfires, but Canada, you're just keeping the atmosphere tough for me to breathe. All right, well, it's the Tithing Blade Tron hand. Let's keep. Play tap land turn 1, unfortunately. This is where you lose with this deck. If you've got rare lands, throw them in here. Even Shadowy Backstreet might be a little better. All right, so we can Momentum Breaker just to make them discard a card. Didn't mention this in the thing, but we could start your engines, make them lose a card. They got a bajillion cards. It looks like they might even be trying to get stuff in their graveyard, so I'm not going to do that. Just play the Novice Inspector with a little bit of a wasteful loss of mana there. And if opponent's paying attention, they know we don't have another white sorcerer. We would have played it earlier. Overlord of the Baelmark. Okay. Well, we're up against a lot of mythics and rares. And we got this. Sure, what we should do? We can, I guess we can attack, and then we can Starfield Shepherd and go find Pixie. Or is there anything else we'd rather have? I think we'll just get the Pixie. Let's get the Pixie game started. Damn you, Canada! Blame Canada. Okay. Summon Fenrir. This is going to go away of its own at some point, but I guess we'll help it along with, let's start with the Momentum Breaker. Yeah, we'll play the Pixie. And bounce it back. Other option there would have been to crack the Clue. Would have been more mana efficient. Kind of want to start putting some pressure on them if I can. They're ramping like the Dickens. Okay, so we have the option for Starfield Shepherd. Just hard cast. I think I'll take it. What would I like to see? Maybe Optimistic Scavenger. Start building up these guys. Opponent hasn't shown any removal. Seems like they're all about just playing giant creatures. There's Yuna. Alright, so unfortunately... Oh, okay, they're going to give us an option to trade here. I think I'll take it. Cause wait a minute, now... Yeah, they're going to get to bring back something awesome with... Yeah. This thing. It's going to blow up one of our creatures. Then we'll just make them sacrifice it. Big damage. They went for Overlord of the Hauntwoods. Interesting. Sort of buffing up the Novice Inspector with the idea they're probably going to get rid of the Nurturing Pixie if they have the option. So we just want to spread the counters around. 4, they go to 14. Still 4 cards in hand. And they're just going to hard cast the Primal Odin. Blows up the Pixie, I'm guessing. Yep. Badly. And so we can play Tithing Blade. And they lose that, huh? Okay. Well, yeah, we can do all of the above. Tithing Blade, Tithing Blade. Opponent's like, what? How many of those they got? At 3. Yeah, we'll draw Pixie. Pixie's a good draw. And we'll schmack in for 3. Let's see what they got next. Esper Origins, it looks like. Get another Primal Odin. So, this is quite a test. Opponent's got probably more rares than we've even got on commons. Bitter Triumph. Takes out the Scavenger. Plays another Esper Origins. It's not legendary though, so... Well, another land isn't terrible, honestly. Bring back Momentum Breaker. Replay it. Bring back Momentum Breaker. And now I think we do replay it. To make them ditch that guy. They don't get the trigger on it. They can play the Esper Origins again. Hopefully we draw between the Clue. Oh, they hit a creature. Grim Bauble, not super useful. Let's see what we draw. All-Fates Stalker. And, guess we'll just straight up remove this, even though they'll get the trigger if they remove the All-Fates Stalker. And now it's 7. We'll be going to 9, though. This comes in. They get a Virtue of Persistence. Got the All-Fates Stalker, so kind of the worst case scenario. I wonder what happened. I'm just wondering what happens if... Does this go to their graveyard, I guess? Get in for 2. We just need them to draw dead for a while, but they can just play that. Which means they're bringing back a creature every turn. I think we're in kind of deep doo-doo. Maybe I was supposed to hit that because it has a finality counter. Well, or I can momentum break it. And get in for 8. Take him to 1. Kind of tempted to cast the Grim Bauble. Oh, yeah, let's just craft one of these. Craft it with any of these guys. And then, unless they can gain life, we should win. That last little ping. They got Yuna. And Yuna brings back... Oh, they got Overlord of the Mistmores, sure. And they bring back something that can gain them life, though. Blow up one of my creatures, sure. Take out that guy, get your Overlord back. Give him a nice. And then you lose, opponent. Boom! No rares, baby.
That was remarkable. I'm still just running that sequence through my mind. It happened really quickly. Nothing mattered.
Gotta try to squeeze in some games here. This deck is a little bit slow. Maybe that's because it is sophisticated. It is a tricky deck to pick up. Budget-wise, cheap to pick up. Tricky strategy-wise. Opponent is going first if they ever pick up. Pick up the phone, opponent.
I do not have time for this. I do not have time for you.
There's a tap land. We love to see it. They go Communing with Beavers. I think I know what this deck is. This is the, like, tap stuff down deck. Voice of Victory. Be good to get eventually. Maybe should have held up Nowhere to Run, actually. Well, once Voice comes down, we can't cast spells during their turn, so... Go Commune with Beavers. Told them not to commune with those beavers. Let's just be Princess Taking Flight. Bounce it with Sun Pearl Kieran next turn. Oh, we gotta remove the Kona. What did they put in? Some giant creature. Oof. Okay. They blow that up. Well, you don't get your creature back. That's not how that works. Hard lesson for you there. Okay, so we kind of have to do this Nowhere to Run. And maybe the opponent is out of ammo. Let's see. Are you out of ammo, opponent? Problem is they probably want to keep playing because they could draw into ammo. They're reading Nowhere to Run in Tithing Blade? You haven't seen these guys before? Seam Rip! That's one we could be playing in our deck. Maybe it would be better than Grim Bauble, honestly. Possibly update the... we'll draw. It's kind of flooding out. One it might be flooding out too, though. We've stuck a creature. Oh no, they had another Kona. Okay. Is their last card another giant creature? In which case we might be toast. This now taps like Gaia's Cradle. Sure. Anything? Of course they have it. Of course. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, opponent had their combo twice. Guess we take out Overlord of the Mistmoors here. Feels kind of bad. We can take out Kona. In for one, because why not? Well, we'll get it for one. Okay, that creates a token that's a copy of artifact or enchantment you control, except it's legendary. Okay. Already legendary. Okay, they're just planning to station that right up. Let's do a Grim Babble. Got one of these. Bring back Nowhere to Run. Take out Kona. And may as well drop a land to buff Ambrosia and get in. Take him to 12. Okay. We can just keep him from drawing action. Land is great. Love to see it. They gonna tap for this? They're just going for this. Okay. Opponent's just ready to take some damage. Another land is great. I think I will crack the bauble now. Nurturing Pixie and an Engine Rat is interesting. They're going to be pretty low. We have a lot of mana. I think we still get Pixie first, but I think we can keep both on top. Pretty much just need to fade him one turn here. Okay, we'll have to leave that as a blocker. They get the Sarima. So I think we'll find, another Kona or something as another blocker. Okay, Wily Duke. You like to gain a life and draw a card? I know you're. I know you want to, opponent. A very fun deck. I believe this went 5-0 on Magic Online recently or something. I saw it in a list of cool new decks. Oh, we got the scoop. We got the scoop. Up against the brilliant Brian Eno. Know the name Brian Eno. Don't think I could name a Brian Eno song. That's my ignorance speaking, though. If you're a Brian Eno fan. Don't blame me. Okay, well, we have Nowhere to Run. That might quickly get outclassed. Not that worried about the Scout, so I think I'll play the Scavenger. Let a mana go to waste. One of the strategies, the heuristics in Magic is to spend all your mana. Here we go. Breakout. Fear of missing out. Okay. So it's an aggro. deck. No blocks. They put Esper Origins in the graveyard. That's kind of cool. This is a bit of a different build than I've seen in Gruul aggro. And now I'm just going to be playing off curve for a while. Target the Scavenger. Yeah, did that right. Yeah, I'll tech you for 2. 2 can play at this aggro game. The Patchwork Beastie also dies to nowhere to run, so that's good. And they bushwhacked my guy. We got schwacked. That's whack. And they have 1 mana up. Huh. They definitely got some kind of pump spell or something. We'll just hold off on nowhere to run. Pass a turn. Taciturn, pass a turn. Sorcery, enchantment creature in the graveyard. Guess we gotta hope what they're holding up is not instant. Oh, and now they got a land, so Patchwork Beastie is online. Wickerfolk. Put a blocker on here, see if that baits out whatever their pump spell is. I gotta try it. Violent Urge. Okay. Ouch. Let's see if we can get rid of the beastie. Still just 8-13, even despite taking that big old hit. Violent Urge. Target creature gets +1/+0, first strike. They got a Keen-Eyed Curator. Can start exiling the graveyard if they want. Oh, they're gonna just whack down one of my guys. Ooh, okay. Let us attempt to hit the Keen-Eyed Curator. Is their last card Snakeskin Veil. And because something left the battlefield, we can draw. We go down to 7. But I like that we have a nowhere to run. I'm a little miffed they're going to get back their Keen-Eyed Curator if we don't find a bounce creature. Esper Origins. Hey, it's a great card. So they hit Snakeskin Veil and it's on the top of the library. Oh yeah, Momentum Breaker's perfect. And then hit you for 4. One is still in the lead. Well, we can crack this Momentum Breaker to gain life in a pinch. Keen-Eyed Curator is back. And we know they have Snakeskin Veil and the Patchwork Beastie. So the question is, how do we get them to proactively use the Snakeskin Veil? Because, yeah. Oh, yeah. We should have flashed in the Sun Pearl here and there. That was a total punt.
From the end zone, he punts it. Oh my goodness, this could be the longest punt in Super Bowl history.
I don't think I've been that excited for a punt. What a punt.
And now they can get one of those guys pretty big. I don't know if there's much I can do. Okay, they didn't even tap. They kept open. Eno is a good player. A good fan and a good player. Okay. Well, actually, nowhere to run ignores this. So if we block one of these guys, what happens? Because we have to block one of them. Otherwise, they can deal 7. So they're going to grow that one. Interesting. They give it trample? Oh, it does get trample. I'm gonna have to crack this momentum breaker probably. I'm not even sure that's gonna be enough. I play this on it, then they play the thing, it survives, it grows. If I play this on the other one, I have to play it on the other one. This will become a 7/7. That'll be 5 plus 3. That'll be 8 damage. So the momentum breaker would save us. As long as they don't play Snakeskin Veil. Let's just see if they did the math. They did not. All right, but then still, how do I win? Because that doesn't win me anything. I can know where to run this guy. And they play the Snakeskin Veil, and I Grim Bobble it. They still win. See what we would have drawn if we had not drawn the planes. All-Fates Stalker, that would have done it. One card away. Okay, it was pretty close. It was pretty close. Okay, normally I would play at least 5 games, but I got to run today. Got to pick up my daughter from camp. Got my other daughter from preschool. So, yes, 75% win rate, 50% on the play, 100% on the draw. What you see is what you get. Actually, I'm not going to play one of the games because opponent timed out. So you make up your mind. Is it a 66% win rate, 75% win rate? Either way, it's pretty darn good for no rares. The only thing I would complain about is it took 34 minutes to play those 4 games. And I was expecting this deck to be much, much faster. So it might not be the fastest at ranking up, but as you can see, it did keep us going up in gold. And that's about all you can ask for. Yeah, Seam Rip. I would definitely put in a Seam Rip instead of at least one of these Grim Bobbles, if not 2 of them. I think Seam Rip is a better bounce target, and it also works nicer with Optimistic Scavenger. So that's the change I would make to the deck now after having played it. That's all I got to say. Thanks for joining me here in the attic. I've been Man of Dad, reminding you Magic is a game so fun, even dads can enjoy it. Adios.